Hey guys, welcome to the Common Sense Football Show and welcome to today's show. We've got a lot of things to get through today. Have Arsenal blown the title? We're going to go through Sunday, Super Sunday games, Monday night football game, and we're going to do a brief Champions League preview. So, it was a big weekend of football, and for the title race, Manchester City doing their job and beating Leicester convincingly, and Arsenal had to respond under the pressure with a win. Started off really well for Arsenal, 2-0 up, quick fire from Gabriel Jesus and Martin Odegaard. Arsenal in control of the game, and then I don't know if it was complacency, cockiness, but then West Ham started to get a foothold in the game, getting a penalty, then Benrahma slots away. 2-1 going into the second half. Arsenal just had to control the game and stamp their authority on the game, but that didn't happen. They did get a penalty early in the second half that Saka missed, and then Jared Bowen scores to make it 2-2 for West Ham. After that 2-2, it didn't look like Arsenal would score. There weren't any clear-cut chances after that, and Arsenal just looked a bit toothless. I think that some of the attacking subs took a bit long to come on, and I can understand why, because that front three of Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Saka are probably Arsenal's strongest front three, but Saka and Martinelli didn't have the best game. Gabriel Jesus played quite well, but Saka and Martinelli didn't have the best game. So maybe some attacking changes could have been brought on a little bit sooner. But, let's go through it. Have Arsenal blown the title? Have Arsenal bottled it? First things first, no. Arsenal haven't bottled it, and they're not going to bottle it. Liverpool and Manchester City have been fighting tooth for nail for the last 5 Premier League titles, and City have come out on top, winning 4 of the 5, and Liverpool have won 1. So there were scenarios where Liverpool were leading the title race and City hunted them down to win it and to pip them by a narrow margin. The media or pundits never labelled that Liverpool bottled it. They gave great credit to Liverpool and they gave great credit to Manchester City for setting such high standards. Now, I don't understand why the narrative going on in the media and going on with certain pundits that Arsenal have bottled it. It's an Arsenal thing to do. They're going to bottle it. Absolute rubbish. Arsenal were not supposed to be in this position. They were not supposed to be fighting for the title. They weren't even supposed to be in the top 4 according to most pundits. So Arsenal haven't bottled it. They're not going to bottle it. Their expectations have changed, and most fans and sports media expectations have changed. Arsenal are going for the title, but if they don't win the title, it's been a great season for Arsenal, punching way above their weight against a juggernaut that's Manchester City, and they deserve a lot of credit, pushing Manchester City all the way to the end, and the title race is going to go all the way down to the wire. So, I'm very proud of Arsenal. I'm very proud of the Arsenal players. I'm very proud of the gaffer for what they've done this season, and I still think that Arsenal can win the title, and it's still in Arsenal's hands. If Arsenal can go on another run, try and accumulate as much points as possible in these last 7 games and try to go to Manchester City and get a result. I believe if Arsenal play to their fullest potential, they can win at Manchester City. Even a draw is good. As long as they win the other 6 games, they'll still secure the Premier League title. So I still have faith in Arsenal, but I do think that the gaffer has some hard decisions to make in terms of, starting 11s, in terms of substitutions as well if games were not going so well. I think that Trossard, he's been pretty hard done by the last couple of games. He's come into Arsenal, he's made a massive impact, assists, goals, and I think that he's been quite hard done by being dropped in a Liverpool game, even though he came on as a sub, and also not starting in the West Ham game. I do think that certain players, Martinelli had a drop of form and he got dropped. And then, he picked up form again, and that's good. He's in a good place at the moment. I think that Saka, I don't know what it is. I think that he's looking a bit tired. I think that, his form has dipped a little bit, which can happen. It's been a long season. He's a young player, so maybe it's good to pull Saka out and, bring another player into that attacking that attacking front three, you know, because it's a long season, and I think that Saka, you know, he looks a bit tired. He looks a bit like his confidence has gone down a little bit, and that's fine. You know, he's a young player. It's a long season, so I think it's the right time to maybe pull him out and give another player. You know, you've got Eddie Nketiah back. You know, Reece Nelson can have a run, and you've got Trossard that's already there that can play anywhere along the front three. You know, I would go with Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Trossard on the right for the next game against Southampton, that I'm confident Arsenal will get back to winning ways. So that game, there was a couple of players against West Ham that had a pretty below par game. I don't think that the centre-backs, Holding and Gabriel, had the best game. I don't think Thomas Partey had the best game. And I don't think that Saka had the best game, even before the penalty miss. The thing about Saka is, I think that sports media and fans are guilty of overhyping certain players. And believe me, I'm not trying to, you know, dig out Saka and scapegoat Saka. I just think that he's under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectations of the lad, and you know, when I look at players in the past like Dele Alli, for 3 seasons, he was seen as the new golden boy of English football. You know, he was getting loads of goals, loads of assists, being compared to Frank Lampard, you know, held as one of the best attacking midfielders in Europe and the world, which was true at the time. But I do feel that the pressure that the media, certain pundits and fans were putting on him sort of did get to him, and now you can see how far his form has dropped. And you know, I hope that doesn't happen with Saka. There's a lot of pressure on the lad, and he is a good player. Do I think he's as good as some people think he is? Not really. I don't think he's as good as a prime Joe Cole, prime Damien Duff, a prime Frank Ribery, Ian Robben. He's not at that level. I don't think he can get to that level. Yes, he's a very competent player, but I do think he's overrated by some sections of the fan base, pundits and media. And, you know, that can put a lot of pressure on a player. So I just feel that expectations should be dropped for the lad. He should be seen for what he is. That's a good player with a lot of talent, but he isn't like a prime Ian Robben or Frank Ribery, and he's never going to be that. He's not going to win Ballon d'Ors. And I've heard some fans compare him to Kylian Mbappe, or say that he's on the same level as Haaland. No, he's not. He's not on the same level as none of those players, and he ain't going to be at the same level as none of those players. You know, Kylian Mbappe single-handedly dragged France back into a game, the World Cup final against Argentina. They were losing, brought it into extra time penalties, scoring a hat-trick, scoring 2 penalties during the game and a penalty during the penalty shootout. You know, France lost, but Kylian Mbappe done his job, scoring a hat-trick and putting away 3 pens during the game. You know, that is the quality, that's the standard, that's the mentality of truly elite world-class players. That name world-class gets thrown around too much. Saka isn't world-class, and he's never going to be world-class. He's a very good player with a relatively high ceiling, but in order for him to reach that ceiling, he has to work hard, keep his feet on the ground, be humble, which I'm sure he is, and not have so much pressure on him from the fan base and from the media and expectations on him, so he could just go and express himself and be the best he can be. And that's what I want him to be. So yeah, like I said, I'm not digging Saka out. Just my thoughts on the game and seeing how he's played the last couple of games, and not just him, other players, but also wondering why Arteta never subs him off. You know, because he should have came off. He should have came off relatively early, but he doesn't ever seem to be subbed off even when he has a bad game, which I find quite strange. And the contract negotiations seem to be going on for a long period of time. If he doesn't want to sign a contract, or if he's got, if an agreement can't be met with Arsenal, then sell him, cash in on him, get 100, 120, 130 million for him, and then go sign Victor Osimhen, who is a world-class player, who probably would improve Arsenal's front line dramatically. So that's what I would do in that department. But like I've said, I'm still positive about the season. I still think Arsenal can do it, and I know that all of those players, because it's a team game, 11 players on the pitch, it's a squad game. If everyone pulls the right direction and plays to their fullest capabilities, Arsenal can deliver their first Premier League title for 19 years. So let's get behind the lads. let's get behind the lads, Arsenal fans, and help them get over the line. There was also the game that featured Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Manchester United winning comfortably 2-0. Like I said, I think Manchester United will get into the top 4 along with Newcastle. It's nice to see Antony getting a goal. It's been a decent season for him. I'm not one of those people that think he's been a massive flop. You know, players they don't choose how much they cost, and players need time to adapt to a new country, to a new style of play. And I think Antony's done quite well his first season. Important goals, assists, and I do see him now starting to get confident and starting to adapt to the English style of play. There was also the Monday night game, which was Leeds versus Liverpool. Liverpool thrashing Leeds 6-1. The thing about Liverpool, they have a very impressive attack. So they have a lot of good forwards and strikers. But if they can improve that midfield next season, I've no doubt that they'll be in a title race. Nunes scoring, Jota scoring, Salah scoring, you know, and then they're bringing on the likes of Diaz and Firmino, even though Firmino's going to go. So they have so much attacking options. If they can just find midfield players to re-energize and put legs back into their midfield, I'm sure that Liverpool are going to be right up there fighting for the Premier League title again next season. As for Leeds, they need to try and, you know, win and accumulate as many points as they can in the last couple of games to avoid the drop. It's not looking too good for Leeds, but, you know, it's still tight at the bottom, and it's still anyone's game who can stay up and who's going to go down. We've also got Champions League games going on tonight. We've got Chelsea versus Real Madrid and Napoli versus AC Milan. Let's just have a look at the scores. I anticipate that Real Madrid will go through quite comfortably. It's still... No, Milan have scored to make it 2-0 in aggregate. Napoli have got a mountain to climb. Victor Osimhen is back as well. Whether or not he's fully fit, I don't know, but he's fit enough to play in today's game. Napoli have work to do if they're going to stay in the Champions League, and it's still 0-0 Real Madrid versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I anticipate that Real Madrid will win that game tonight. Even a draw's enough, but I anticipate they'll win that game. Real Madrid have the ability to up the gears whenever they want and to, you know, go through the gears and find a way to win. Whether or not that they're comfortable and they're just controlling the game today, I don't know. But I do think that Real Madrid will go through. I thought Napoli would go through against AC Milan, but being 2-0 down on aggregate, they have got a mountain to climb. Napoli, can Victor Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia save them? Let's wait and see. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Please smash the like, subscribe, share the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.